What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Dermy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with episode 38 of G Gundam Review. This is... If I say what I always say at the beginning of every episode, you guys are going to start believing that I'm biased, which I kind of am during all this, but I like this episode, so let's just say that. It's a good episode for Argo Golski. It's a good episode returning character Andrew Graham from Neo Canada. And if you guys don't remember, this is all the way back when the show still, I believe, was in single digits. Could have been double digits at the time, but I think it was single digits. I think it was our second interaction with Argo Golski when we found out who Andrew Graham is, and that really touching story, to be quite honest with you. Touching, and it's a sad, depressing story, but it hits you in your heart, you know? Argo's whole relationship with him, and the fact that Argo's ship crashed into their police station. Argo came down to try to save his wife, failed, and Andrew Graham believes that Argo killed his wife. And it's a sad story that deals with letting go and not holding on to grudges, and how grudges can hurt somebody no matter what. And even though they kind of forget that Andrew found out the truth that, Argo didn't kill his wife, kind of needs to have it reinforced in this episode. So let's get started. And we are introduced to, the ongoing theme of, hey, Wong set up Domon to battle all the Shuffle Alliance people. And this week it's going to be Argo Golski, but this is going to be a special one, considering it's going to be Domon and Allenby. And Allenby actually plays a massive part in this episode, versus Argo Golski and Andrew Graham and his Grizzly Gundam. Or is it Lumber Gundam? I get it mixed up because it's something different in the Japanese. And it's going to be an interesting episode. More drama-packed, though. We officially open the episode having Andrew and Argo fighting at each other in their own match. Giant bulk types. These are defense types. These are very bulky Gundams. These are very strong Gundams. These are meant to take punches. Going at it, Andrew, who has a death grudge essentially with Argo, and Argo who hasn't done anything but is willing to at least entertain the idea. And the rest of the Shuffle Alliance finally gets to see who Andrew Graham is, and they're shocked. They're mesmerized because Argo's one of their strongest guys, and Andrew has Argo on the ropes right now. Each one of them is just mesmerized by that power. I believe it was George kind of, he lays out the backstory of Andrew thinking Argo killed his wife, and now he wants to basically off the man. And they're it was Domon who lays it out. Allenby's there. They're just shocked that this guy is so powerful, and he wants to destroy Argo with all of his might. Argo being pinned to the ground, he ends up getting a call from Russian lady. Nastasha? I cannot remember off the top of my head. She ends up calling in and saying, Argo, quit playing around with this dude and get serious. Argo says he is serious and breaks out of the hole, lifts up, pulling up Andrew Graham, throws him into a building before he unleashes his newest attack, Gaia Crusher, which is a massive fist attack that actually controls the Earth. And he uses it against Andrew Graham, sealing him into an arena and beating him there. This power is immense. And apparently there's even more to this attack that we don't know about yet, but we learn about later. Everybody's shocked at just how powerful this attack is, how powerful Argo has become, considering his time in the Guiana Highlands. Everybody's gaining their own power. Argo has he has his own serene state of mind, he has his own special attack, and Argo's is pretty darn cool. Everybody else has like this uber powerful, fist, sword, rose bits, kamikaze style. Argo literally reshapes the Earth. So yeah, this is a powerful man. I don't remember what happens here, but they're prepared for their matches, showing off each other's shuffle line crests and knowing what is going to have to happen. We end up cutting into Wong's area where Master Asia is not too happy with Wong because Wong has informed him that Domon is no longer important to their plans. Yeah, Domon's not that important anymore. And who is important is somebody completely different who Master Asia's hand is over. It's Allenby Beardsley. Wong has plans for Allenby. He believes Allenby is the strongest fighter they have out there, and that he wants to use her to help resurrect the Dark Gundam. Wong, Master Asia, completely disagrees, says she's inexperienced, she's immature, she's not good enough. Domon is the better fighter. And Wong says he just says he has plans and he's going to make sure that Master Asia knows about his plans. And as Wong's talking about this, Master Asia begins breaking out into a coughing fit, and Wong just takes point of his debilitating whatever the term is, degrading health. Like, Master Asia's more and more starting to cough. Every episode we're starting to see him like he's getting sicker and sicker and weaker. Something's going on here. Cut to the next day where we find Argo in his jail cell, just standing there and beginning to use the Gaia Crusher. And as he's using the Gaia Crusher, his whole cell begins to shake. Like, this is a powerful attack. He reshapes the literal earth. He's causing an earthquake just by his fists. And as he's doing this, he ends up getting transported. I'll just say right now, it's a 3D imaging system. It's holographic, and he doesn't realize it at the time, but now he sees himself in space, and what he's viewing is the Russian delegation ship. As it begins to encroach upon him, he gets scared that it's going to run into him, and it doesn't, but he's transported onto the ship. While here, he sees his crew all stuck behind bars. Argo begins to walk towards them, panicking, wondering why they're there, and then ends up walking through bars. This is kind of when he realizes that he's not really there. It's a hologram, but he's just taken by his whole crew all around him. He's wondering why they're all here, what's going on, and he ends up getting very angry, saying, "Enough with these tricks. What's going on here?" Nastasha, whatever her name is, opens the window and starts kind of talking normally to Argo, not like a commanding officer, not like a prison warden, just normally, and says, "These were orders from up above. These were orders from the government. We had to show you these. I didn't want to, and they just want you to remember why you're fighting and what you are fighting for." And Argo accepts it, but then Argo acknowledges that, and Natasha then says, "Your next fight's going to be changing up a bit. And you're going to be having a tag team fight, and your partner is Andrew Graham," as everybody sees that this is going to be a team match. A very interesting team match as well, might I say. Everybody's acknowledging it like this is a weird match. They're also putting out that, hey, this is going to be weird considering Andrew wants to kill Argo. Why are we teaming him up with Argo? This is going to be a very fascinating match. What's going to happen? And nobody knows. And Andrew's out there doing his own, confronts Domon and almost takes off his head. And Domon's just saying, "Hey, in this match, knock your grudge out. No more. We're done. We want to have a serious match. I need to have a match with Argo. You can't be getting involved. You can't have your whole grudge match thing going on here." And Andrew doesn't take it well. He says he must fight Argo. He must take revenge. And I just hit a button that I didn't mean to hit. But it happens. Andrew ends up saying that he doesn't believe that Argo didn't kill his wife. He doesn't believe that because he heard that from Russia. They could have documented the evidence. They could have changed everything. Andrew still doesn't believe him and still has this grudge match. And Domon doesn't know how to interact with that. Andrew is determined to basically fight Argo to the death. Later on, Allenby and Domon end up communicating, talking, and they basically hatch a simple plan. Allenby's going to take on Andrew and be, Domon's little back partner dealing with Andrew while Domon takes on Argo. Simple plan. That's all they're going to do, but their plans are going to get kind of dashed. And before she leaves, she takes note of one of the doctors from Neo Sweden has been harping on her that she needs to be getting back home right on time. She can't be staying out late as much anymore. So she quickly runs home. We end up cutting away to Wong's little delegation, the government building where Wong likes to be. Where we are shown said doctor, strapped down. He awakens and he looks. You see Wong here in the shadows, and behind Wong is this massive machine, which is shocking to said doctor. And I cannot remember the dude's name, but he says, "Oh my God, that's the Berserk system. You stole it from Neo Sweden." And Wong just responds with, "Nope, we didn't steal it. We made it ourselves. We made our own version of the Berserk system. And we want to use it. So please, doctor, tell us. What is the brainwave code for Allenby Beardsley?" The doctor says he will never tell, and that's when Wong begins torturing him. Because Wong's whole plan here is to get that Berserk system engaged again. He believes Allenby's Berserk mode is the strongest fighter out there, and that's what he wants for the Dark Gundam, and he will do anything for that. As you hear him scream, you see Allenby kind of look back. That's an anime trope, but it's a cool anime trope because she knows something's wrong, but she doesn't know what it is. Halfway point. Argo. We cut to Argo. Coming out. Looking out at the sea. He's no longer in his cell. And he's being ushered by Nastasha, who's in a very attractive outfit, might I say. Highly attractive. And she says she wants to give him a good night. One good night. So they go off and they have this nice little dinner, all prepped, and Nastasha's there acting not like herself. Talking about, hey, why aren't you eating, can you not use fork chopsticks? Fish not your thing, It's a whole lot better than what we've been feeding you. And Argo ends up looking to the sky and he sees the Russian delegation ship. And that's when Argo realizes what's going on. And Nastasha just lays it out and she said she's angry right now herself. She is furious that the government of Russia has sent Argo's crew here because they don't believe Argo is going to stand up. That he's not going to fight with everything he has and that he's going to lose. And Nastasha says that it shows disrespect to them and she needs him to win tomorrow under any and all circumstances. Just go all out. Do what you have to do. Argo ends up sitting down. I'm trying to get that scene. And just starts eating away. Nastasha ends up looking back at the sky and sees shooting star heading towards the colonies. And she just says something. It's a little world building that we don't know a whole lot about if you don't watch the show a whole lot or anything like that. But she ends up pointing out that a shooting star heading towards the colonies is bad luck. Normally a shooting star is good luck, but in this case, it's bad luck. And there's going to be some bad luck. As tomorrow approaches, fighters are ready. Allenby and Domon recite their plan. Andrew and Argo are, begrudgingly partners. Everybody's hesitant. I mean, even they're all out there basically saying, is Andrew going to try to interrupt and kill Argo? Is this going to be a thing? Schwartzbruder shows up and says that that is very easily a possibility, and people need to be on the watch out for that. The battle continues. Andrew is, contemplating what Domon said, but his anger towards Argo is just immense. And Argo's not really fond about teaming up with Andrew, considering Andrew wants to kill him, but it is what it is. Allenby recites, hey, I'll take care of Argo. I'll take care of Andrew. You deal with Argo. This will be simple. Sweden ends up taking note that the doctor isn't around, so they can't use the berserk system, even if they wanted to. And Allenby says, well, she doesn't really care, but she wonders where the doctor is. We see Master Asia on Funsaiki in the middle of the battle, prepared to watch, because he knows Wong is going to try something. He just knows it. We end up cutting away to a nice little building over here where Wong's all prepared and ready to have the match start. We see the doctor is basically slumped over in his chair, just tortured. And you can tell by this image, Wong got what he wanted. And the doctor ain't so happy that he got what he wanted. Berserk system is all primed. Match ready, set, go. Allenby and Domon go forward. Nastasha tells Argo to begin. Argo immediately uses Gaia Crusher. Out the gate uses this attack, creating just a single arena, locking out Andrew and Allenby, and makes a special arena just for Domon and him to fight. And they just go all out at it. And they mention Domon has to win in order to save his father. Argo has to win in order to save his crew, his men, the people he cares about. This is not a grudge match, but this is a serious match because both of them have people on the line this time, not just ideals. These are actual people. And Nastasha's amazed at just how powerful Argo has become and just unleashing all that he can on Domon. Andrew Graham ends up scaling the wall and he says he wants to know the truth behind Argo. He wants to know who he is deep down. Is he this awful person? Who are you truly, Argo? We end up cutting away to Allenby climbing the mountain because she knows she needs to take care of Andrew or Domon. And as the battle is commencing, Wong does what he needs to do and activates the berserk system, engaging it onto Allenby, having her freak out. Rain is shocked that the berserk system's engaged. Sweden's shocked because they don't even have the ability to activate it right now. Master Asia is furious that it's being activated, realizes that it's Wong, swings into action. We end up watching Allenby just scream, please turn it off, please turn it off, turn it off. Wong's laughing, acknowledging that he's done it. And just then, Master Asia comes swooping in to confront Wong. And he says, you are a disgrace to the fights. You are making a mockery of everything. And I'm going to have to do this. But if I have to stop you by force, I will. Master Asia gets into attack position and then crumbles to the ground because of his sickness. Because he can't do anything. Master Asia is dying in front of us. Wong says, look at the strongest fighter. I'll have it my way. Cranks the berserk system all the way up, just breaking Allenby's brain and throwing her into this crazy berserk mode, and she launches into battle. Andrew takes note of that, but he knows he needs to watch Argo right now. Argo's fight is the most important thing. Argo and Domon keep fighting. Brutal hits back and forth. Andrew is mesmerized. Everybody's just watching them wail into each other. Argo uses his bolt thing, trying to slam it into Domon as he swings it around. It's an intense fight. And as their fight continues, Domon takes note of, you've gotten stronger. I'm very impressed. But after this, we'll need you for the Dark Gundam. And Argo says, hey, I acknowledge my position as the Black Joker, but right now, I care about freeing my men. And that's what they do. And they just wail into each other, throwing their fists at each other. And that's when they say it's time to end this. It's time to end this fight. Shining Finger versus Gaia Crusher. Domon goes full force at it, going straight through it, and Argo uses Gaia Crusher to bring up rocks from the ground to try to stop Domon, but Domon just flies straight through it, destroying each one, landing directly on Argo's head. Nastasha's shocked, thinking that Argo's down for the count. Domon says, hey, you're down, and Argo says, I ain't down yet. You haven't seen the true power of the Gaia Crusher. Argo slams his fist into Domon's arms, and it activates the attack and shows what the true power is to crush Shining Finger with all of his force. Everybody's shocked. They think that this might be the winning moment. Andrew's amazed at what's going on here. And he's like, because part of the thing is, like, Argo could die doing this. Like, this is potentially a suicide attack. And that's when Andrew kind of realizes who Argo truly is. And, you know, his memory comes back, even though I don't know why it's coming back now, of how Argo did try to save his wife. And that he failed. And when he looked back at him, Argo was crying. Because he doesn't like watching people die. He doesn't like hurting people. It's not something he enjoys. And that realization shocks Andrew and realizes that Argo's a good person. He's not this monster. Argo preparing to fight, crushing down on Domon's arm. Domon says that he's not going to give up. He's going to win. That's when Domon notices something. Gaia Crusher puts a lot of strain on Argo's legs. Like a lot. This knee is quaking right now. And that's when Domon realizes what he needs to do. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. To win, Domon activates a full power throttle system, like propelling himself forward at full force. And as he's doing that, that's putting more pressure onto Argo's leg unit, which ends up blowing up. Argo ends up falling to the ground, getting out of serene state of mind. They acknowledge that they just lost. And the battle is pretty much done. Argo realizes he lost. He lost to a better fighter in Domon. Domon is proud that they are still standing, but as Argo raises up his hand to congratulate them, their shuffle lines start glowing. And just then, Andrew's watching, realizing that Argo's a good person. Walls break, and Berserk Allenby comes out, ready to fight. Ready to help Domon, and says she will crush any and all of Domon's opponents. She takes a look at Argo and says, you're Domon's opponent. I must end you. Andrew, watching this, seeing that Argo is down on the ground, jumps into action and takes the hit head on. Domon's shocked to see this. Argo shocked to see this. We see Andrew basically, he's not in a good way. Andrew says, why did you do this? Why, Andrew? Why did you sacrifice yourself for us? And Andrew says, because you saved my wife. You are a good person, and I need to repay for my death, for me wanting to kill you. He ends up closing his eyes, and a massive explosion lets out, breaking the barrier, shattering it out. Everybody sees this intense force. Wong is amazed, saying, you see, Allenby truly is the strongest fighter. And we end as we watch Allenby in a burning state, yet sitting on the ground. We see Andrew torn apart. That's how the episode fully ends. It's a tough episode to watch. It's a tough episode to deal with. And we need more episodes. What's going to happen next is just insane. Some of the things that are about to come up. Trust me. We get more fun. And we are nearing a point of some interesting revelations coming out. And until next time, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it out, friends. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.